Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm taking 3 of these crafter square wood rounds from the Dollar Tree and one of these little candle holders from the thrift store, some wood beads, and a wooden skewer. And I'm also taking some of the wood filler to fill in the holes of these wood rounds where the jute twine used to hang on it. A quick trick to get this hole filled up quickly is to put your finger on the other side of the hole so it won't come out, and then just press in your wood filler. So I did this to all 3, and now I'm taking some of this 100 grit sandpaper and I'm going to sand off any excess and also get the wood rounds nice and smooth, because oftentimes these wood rounds are a little bit rough. So here they are, all nice and smooth, ready to be painted. But first I gotta get my beads ready, and so what I'm going to do is take one of these bamboo skewers and some of this Elmer's wood glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the skewer, and I'm going to place a large bead, and I get these from Amazon, and also a small bead, and I'll do this for 3 different groupings like this, and so they'll dry in this manner. And once they're all dry and secure, I'm taking my EMT shears and I'm going to just snip off all the excess skewer on there. I don't need the excess skewer, I just need the little beads to be together. And the best way that I saw to do this is to get them together with a little skewer. And so you can either cut your skewer ahead of time and place them, or do like I did and just do them all at once, but then you do have to trim them down with your shears. Okay, so now they're all ready to go. So now I'm going to adhere these beads to the bottom of one of my wood rounds, and so I'll add a little dab of this wood glue, and you could do the wood glue and the hot glue, but I'm willing to wait, and so I just went ahead and just did the wood glue. And this wood glue is pretty good, so it worked. But yeah, you have the choice of doing the wood glue and the hot glue. I just felt like there wasn't enough space to put both glues without mixing them together. So just wait till they get a little bit set and then set them aside so they can fully dry. And so now I'm taking my little candle holder that I got from the thrift store. It was like 50 cents. And I'm adding the wood glue, and I'm adding the hot glue because this is a bigger piece. The little beads were real light. So here I'm just going to adhere it to the bottom of this round. And then the third round, I'm going to leave it as is. So now I'm going to go in with some Waverly chalk paint in the color white and paint them all white completely, both sides. And now I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the color elephant, and with my little chippy brush from the Dollar Tree, it's called a chunky brush, but it's a chippy brush, and I'm just going to dab some on my paper towel, and I'm just going to go in and distress this as much as I like. And you don't have to do this. If you want it just clear white or just plain white, you can leave it white, or you can distress it more, or you could distress it less, whatever your preference is. But here's how I liked it, and so I went ahead and distressed it all the way around, top, side, bottom, all of it. And look how cute. So here's my inspiration, a set of 3 for $25.99, and here are mine, a set of 3 for $4. What do you guys think? Today is the Chic for Cheap Craft Challenge, and it is hosted by Christi Creates. And there's a playlist associated with this challenge, so please, when you're done watching my video, please head on over to my description box below and click on the playlist so you can watch what the other participants have decided to create chic for cheap. Okay, well, let's get back into the crafts. For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of these cute little wooden trays from the Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to use some more wooden beads from Amazon, and I'm going to use another wooden skewer. So what I'm going to do is begin with my wooden beads, and I'll do the same thing that I did earlier for my first project, and I'll add some wood glue, and I'll place these wood beads on here, and I'll do a set of 4 this time. Last time I did a set of 3, this time I'll do a set of 4 until I get them looking like this. So now I just set them aside so they'll dry, and once they're dry, I'll do the same thing and get my EMT shears and just snip off all the skewers. And you don't see it, but these little pieces of skewers are just flying all over the room. Oh well, I guess I'll find them later. So here they are, ready to be glued. And so I'll turn my little tray over, and this time I didn't want to wait too long, so I'm going to go ahead and try and do the wood glue and the hot glue together. So it's a little tricky because there's not much space, but I'm gonna go for it this time, especially with the fact that the small bead is going to be attached to the bottom of the tray, and so I want to make sure it's nice and secured on there and not falling off. And look at that, it's looking cute. So now I'm gonna go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color white, and it's looking nice. And now I'm gonna go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color steel, and with the same little chunky chippy brush that I used earlier, I'm going to just go ahead and distress this piece until I get it like I like it, like this. And I'll distress the whole piece, inside, outside, all of it. And look how cute. So here's my inspiration piece, $22.99. And here's mine for approximately $1.50. What do you guys think? For DIY number 3 and my last DIY of this video, I am taking 2 more of these wooden trays from the Crafter Square section of the Dollar Tree, and one of these little wooden, like a picture frame, also from the Dollar Tree, and also the other candle holder that I had, and one of these wreath charms from the Dollar Tree, and they are made of MDF. And also some of these cubes from the Dollar Tree, and another skewer with some beads, and I already strung those on there. So now I'm going to begin with taking my 2 trays and adding some wood glue, and I'll add wood glue on one side, and I'll go in with the hot glue on the perimeter of that area, and I'm going to place them together and clamp them with my Dollar Tree little clamps. These are very handy. So I'll set that aside so it'll dry, and now I'll take my little frame, my little wooden frame, and I'm going to dismantle it, which is pretty easy. It did have 2 little pins, so I took my metal scraper to flatten them down. And also I'm going to remove this bottom piece as well. I'm going to go ahead and utilize it. And for this piece I needed to take my utility knife and score both sides till I get it weak enough that I can just pop it off like this. So now I'm going to begin to assemble my little base. So I'm going to take some wood glue and add it to the bottom of this base, and also some hot glue. I'll do the combination of the 2, and I'll place it on top of the little frame part of this wood round. Use some more clips to help hold them together. And now I'll take this piece and sand it a little bit, get any gunk that's on there. And I'll show you guys another way to fill in these holes. You can take your rubber spatula or silicone spatula and hold it on the other side of the hole and fill it with hot glue. You can do that. Let that set, and look, it's nice and filled. So you could do that too. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and attach this little candle holder with some wood glue and some hot glue, and I'll just place it on the bottom of this round. Once that sets, and now I'll take this piece and remove the clamps, and now I'll glue this bottom piece with some Elmer's glue, the wood glue, and some hot glue, and I'll add it to the top of this wreath charm. I almost forgot what it was called. So now I have this little stacked little piece. So now I'm taking the clamps off my trays. They're nice and dry and ready. And now I'm taking this little cubes, and I'm going to use just the wood glue, and I'm going to stack them in threes. And once I stack those in threes, then I'll add some of the wood glue on the corners, outside corners of these trays, and I'm just going to add them on there. And I'm not going to use any hot glue, and I'll do that to all four corners. And once those are nice and adhered, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess skewers, but this time I'm going to leave a little bit on the very bottom of each of these, because I want this riser to have a different look. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a longer piece, but I do trim that down even more to maybe like 1/8 of an inch or so. And so once I get those trimmed down, I'm going to sand it so it won't be any, there won't be any like pokey pieces, so it'd be nice and smooth. So now once I get those all done, now it's time to adhere them. And so I'm going to do the same thing, go in with some wood glue, and I'll attach them to the little cubes, the little stacked cubes. And I'll do this to all four corners, just like this. Allow time to dry, and once it's dry, then I'll go in with some chalk paint in the color white, and I'll paint everything with this white, like this. And once it's all painted, this time I'm going to distress with some of the Waverly Antique Wax, and I'll use the same little chunky chip brush that I used in the other projects, and I'll just start distressing both pieces until I get it the way I want it, until it looks like this. Look how cute. They're not attached either. And here's one of my inspiration pictures. It was $36 for this one and $43 for this one. And here's mine, $4.50. What do you guys think? And I'd like to take a moment to thank Christi Creates for hosting this Chic for Cheap craft challenge. And please don't forget to follow the playlist in my description box below and watch what the other participants have decided to create for this Chic for Cheap challenge. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. It would really help my new channel to grow. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.